If the stock front lower control arms in your 2005 to 2010 Mustang have been damaged or are just absolutely beat from high mileage, well then you might want to look into this set of upgrades from Ford Performance. Now this set of 2 lower control arms will come loaded with fresh rubber bushings along with brand new low friction ball joints, all for right around that $300 price point. Install is going to involve a fair amount of elbow grease on this one, guys, so figure soft 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter along with a couple of hours to complete from start to finish. But hang with me for a bit and we'll walk you through this job later in the video. So there are a couple of reasons why you might want to look into a new set of lowers for your S197. Maybe you smoked a curb or got into a minor fender bender and just tweaked those stockers ever so slightly. Or maybe your car just has a ton of miles on it and the bushings and ball joints have just seen better days. And that can lead to things like clunking, vibration, poor handling, and unresponsive steering. Whatever the case, guys, this set from Ford Performance will certainly make a dramatic improvement once installed. Now, if you didn't know, these lowers are actually the same ones found on the factory 07 to 09 GT500 and as such do get blessed with some minor upgrades over the stockers found on your run-of-the-mill GT or V6. Now for starters, you're looking at a heavy-duty steel build here, guys, loaded with not only low friction ball joints but also upgraded inner bushings as well, which will help deliver a more connected and more direct steering feel along with improved handling. Finally, those arms are finished off in a gloss black powder coat, and that's obviously just there to help keep things looking good for years to come. Also keep in mind, guys, that these will only fit 2005 to 2010 model year GTs that were built on or before August 3rd, 2009, and V6s that were built on or before February 26th of 2009. Now the reason being for these dates is because Ford switched up the size of the ball joint from 18 to 19 millimeters after those given dates. So just keep that in mind, guys. Make sure you check the date reference on your car. How do you know when your car was built? Well, the quick and easy way to do this is to read up on the sticker of your door jamb to determine if these control arms will be the ones for you or if you need to opt for the 11 to 14 versions instead, which by the way, you can also find here at AM. But what do you say we get into the installation here as promised earlier, guys? And I do want to point out that despite these being an OE part for the mighty Shelby GT500, they will still be a direct bolt-on or swap with any V6 or GT for the correct year range. Now to give you a better idea of just how things will go down and the amount of work involved for this job, feel free to check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown now.
Tools used for this installation: large pry bar, small pry bar, 18 millimeter ratcheting wrench, 21 millimeter ratcheting wrench, 18 and 15 millimeter wrenches, a large hammer, 18 millimeter socket, 3/8 extension, and 3/8 electric impact gun. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to install our Ford Motorsport lower front control arms on our 06 Mustang. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do in our uninstall is, as you can see, I have the wheel off, I have a car up in the air on the lift. If you're at home and you're in your driveway, you're going to want to use a jack. Make sure you use jack stands under the vehicle. We're going to take off our outer tie rod, break that loose, then go in to remove our lower ball joint bolt. We'll pull that out. Then once we get that done, we'll go into removing the bolts that hold in the lower strut bushings, and then we'll remove our lower control arm. So first thing I'm going to do is take my 18 millimeter on my electric impact gun. I'm going to remove this nut right here, and then I'm going to take a hammer, smack it right here, and we're going to remove our outer tie rod. Once I have that off, I'll take my hammer here, and you're going to want to hit it pretty hard right there on that side right there. And now we're going to get this out of the way. Hopefully, once we get this moved, we'll be able to remove our bolt back here, and we won't have to mess around with our steering or our rack and pinion. So now I'm going to take my 18 millimeter and a 15 millimeter wrench. I'm going to hold the bolt from the back side. Take my 18 millimeter. Remove our nut. I'm going to take my hammer. Tap out the bolt. So now we're going to remove the lower control arm from the ball joint. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pry bar, small one, and I'm going to tap it in the slot just to spread it a little bit. It's going to make it easier. Pry it down, and then I'm going to get under it with my bigger pry bar. Then you just give it a pull. Push down a little bit. And you just wiggle your pry bars out like that. And now we have that separated. Now we're going to go back to the control arm bushings and we're going to remove the bolts back there. So now we're going to remove our lower control arm bolt in the back here. I'm going to take my 18mm ratcheting wrench. So now I have it loose. I'm going to move my tie rod out of the way here. So I got it pretty close to being out, pried it out as far as I can. What I'm gonna do now, I'll take that small pry bar I had. I'm just gonna tap it out the rest of the way. And this is gonna save us from having to loosen up the rack and pinion. Now that this is out, we'll go back to the two back ones. So now we're going to remove our back control arm mount here. There's one up top here and one on the other side. I'm going to take my 21mm ratcheting wrench, get on this one, and break it loose. Now we'll go on to the back one. Same deal, we're going to take our 21mm, get up on top of this. Break it loose and take it off. So now I'm going to take my big pry bar in here and push out our lower control arm. And now I have it kind of down. And I just pulled it out. Now you're going to want to repeat this whole uninstall procedure on the other side. So now we have our stock control arm off. We're going to put our new Ford Performance control arm on. What I'm going to do is start by putting this up in place, putting our bushing up in place in the back, and getting our bolts started. So now we're going to install our lower control arm. I'm going to push the spindle out of the way with my body a little bit. Get this up in place here. Once you get it wiggled in place, it takes a little bit to get it in place, but once you get it in and it's sitting in place, now we'll start our bolts. So now we're going to install our bolt in the back here of our control arm. What I'm going to do is put this up through, get some threads started on it, take my 21mm, run this in and then we'll start the front one. I'm just gonna run it down to that point there, and I can get my front bolt started. We'll do the same thing with that one. Now I have that one started. We'll tighten this one up and then tighten our front one up. Now we'll tighten our front one up. Now we'll tighten our front control arm bolt up. So now we'll tighten our front bolt up that we started earlier with our 18mm ratcheting wrench. All right, now we'll put our strut back in and get our ball joint hooked up. So now we're going to put our ball joint back in place. Just going to take my big pry bar, push down off our sway bar here, lower our control arm down, and then hopefully it should slide right into place. You're going to want to line your ball joint up here with the angle of that so it fits into place real easy. Once you get it to that point there, sometimes you can just move it around and it'll fall into place. And if it doesn't, what I usually do, take my hammer, smack up on it just a little bit. And you'll see it'll line up, that you'll be able to put your bolt through. And once you get to that point, now we'll install our bolt. So now we have our ball joint in place, we have our control arm up in, our bolts in the back are all tight. We're going to install our lower control arm bolt. You're going to line it up, you're going to see there's a cutout in there. The bolt will slide through. You might have to just give it a little tap with your hammer. Just like that. I'm going to put our nut on. There we go. Once we get our nut on, I'm going to take my 15mm wrench on the back side of this bolt, my 18mm on my gun, and just run this tight. Once you get that tight, now we'll install our tie rod. So now we'll install our outer tie rod. Put our nut on. And I'm going to take my 18mm again on my gun, hold it up into place. There we go. Now that we have that tight, you're going to want to repeat this whole installation procedure on the other side, and that'll wrap up this installation. That wraps up this review and install of our Ford Performance front lower control arms for 05 to 09 GT and GT 500s. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.